Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kicking and Zooming, brought to you by Allstate. I'm your host, Anthony Totera. Some special guests with us tonight from FC Edmonton, Easton Ongaro. Easton, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. And then we've got some youth coaches, as we like to call this, the player coach series. We got youth coaches from Inter Edmonton. We've got Nick Anastasio. Nick, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me here.
Pleasure's all mine. John Souza. John, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. And Ross Ongaro, the uncle of Easton and the TD of Inter Edmonton. Ross, welcome.
Thank you, Anthony.
Let's get right to it. Easton, question right away to you, and then we'll pass it on to the coaches after you're done answering. Let's talk about your development, Easton. Yeah. And what areas did you feel that your youth coaches helped you when you struggled as a young player? And now looking back, how grateful are you that they worked on some of the things that you struggled as a young player to help get where you're at today?
Yeah, I think at a young age, transitioning from a community league to a club team, you kind of don't know anything else. You don't know any better than what you have there. But they definitely help you develop into a better person, a better athlete. I mean, you can tell how much time they put into it with the team and into you as an individual, and just finding the areas where you can improve. I remember, I think it was like U12, Nick would give us report cards after each season and tell us where we had to improve, and then going into the next year, we'd work on those things. So it's the little things that really help you develop as a player.
Well, as a parent to two boys, when they brought home good report cards, there was a reward, some cash involved. Did you get some cash involved from mom and dad when you got a good report card from Nick?
No.
That's unfortunate. Coaches, let's turn this over to you now. Let me ask you this. When you guys realized that Easton was on his way to becoming something special, what parts of his game did you want him to really work on? You obviously, all three of you knew the qualities that he had, but there had to be some other things that he needed to work on. We'll start, obviously, as we said, with Nick, and then John, and then Ross.
I think the biggest change right off the bat with Easton joining into club soccer is the routine. We would train, 3-4 times a week. In the winter season, in indoor, we'd even do things like bring in a fitness trainer. So we did lots of different things to keep the guys focused on that. One thing that I'm a big believer in is letting kids getting involved in other team sports and all that. So I never, ever told the kids that they weren't allowed to play school sports and stuff, because I think a better all-around athlete makes a better soccer player. Easton's a great athlete, a great soccer player. And just the regimen of keeping them training steady, 3 to 4 times a week was the biggest thing with Easton, and making that commitment to wanting to be a better player.
John?
Well, I think early on, Easton knew what he was going to be. He was going to be at the top and be a goal scorer and set up plays. So it was important to have drills that were tailored to his needs as well as the other couple forwards we had.
Ross?
Well, I think what Nick and Coach Sousa did for Easton was continually have him believe in himself. There were a lot of people that didn't believe in Easton Ongaro, believe me. They never thought that he ever could become close to what he has achieved. I think the most important thing that the two coaches did, and what we tried to do, and what we continually try to do for all of our players, is let them be in charge of their destiny. And by us being passionate about the game, that's our example to them. Because if a child and a player is not passionate, they will never make it to the next level. And when all the doubters were thinking, that he never had it, it was Easton's ability, his belief in himself, and the passion that kept him going.
Easton, next question to you as we talk about the journey of development in your young years. Communication, so important, so key for you and all the youngsters out there watching and listening. How important was it for you, from Coach Nick, from Coach John, and your uncle, to communicate what they wanted from you not only in a training session, but in a game, and also when you were away from the field that you needed to work on yourself? How important was that communication aspect for you as a young player to have?
Yeah, I think as a young player, that's one of the most important things for coaches, how they communicate with their players. And every kid is different and handles things differently. Some players might need a little bit more from their coaches, a little bit maybe yelling at from the sidelines. Some might struggle with that. I think both of these guys did an excellent job with me and read me well growing up and just really got through to me throughout all my years with the club, and just really understood how I needed to be coached and how to make me the player that I am now.
Outstanding answer. Coaches, on to you now. Let's talk about communication. I look at Ross, and I think that we're probably in the same age bracket. And I remember playing as a youngster that the coaches I had, if you did something wrong, they curse you out or they yell at you up and down. And that would actually put more fear into me to not do it wrong again. But then as I learned in years in coaching my young sons, that was not the way to do it. Talk about communication. Nick, first with you, and then we'll make our way down once again with John and Ross.
Well, part of what we did at Inter in those early years with Easton, we did a lot of team bonding type things as well, like things that we enjoyed with the rest of the players. Like Easton said, I like to give kids report cards because I feel that's important for kids to kind of know where their strengths are and where their weaknesses, and then the kids, players that want to be better are always going to look to and working on those things that their weaknesses on. So I think part of those report cards and constantly, working on, strength training and all those different things helped Easton become a better player and a lot with the other players as well.
John?
Hey, I believe, as a coach, you need to be a bit of a chameleon and learn how to adapt on how you communicate with either from parents to kids. And Easton, early on, you knew he was always a true professional and had a good head on his shoulders. So he was able to take constructive criticism very well and didn't take it as, oh, the coach is on me this. It was, oh, he's on this. Maybe he sees something. What can I do to improve that part of my game, or whether it was physically or mentally?
Well said, John. Well said. Ross?
Well, you and I both have had a lot of coaches, and we've had a lot of different styles, and we've heard a lot of different internal or external motivating words. I think what as a coach, I've changed 100% from when I started, a long time ago. But what I've really learned to notice about players that have something extra that are going to go somewhere else, and it's a saying that I've been telling all the kids for a long time now. It's not what you're doing in front of the coaching staff that really impresses us. It's what you do on your own that's really going to show something. Right now with this COVID, we have all these different teams sitting at home waiting to play. Well, you know what? When the day comes when we're going to play, what have these players actually done to be ready to step on that field? That's something Easton never needed to be told. He would do it by himself on his own, and everybody who said he couldn't do it made him work that much harder. And the credit goes to all the players that push themselves and don't need the coach to actually step on them to do it. Because if I have to step on you to do it, you're not going to do it.
Well said, Ross. And it works right into the next question that I want to talk to Easton about and all the coaches. And the word that comes to mind is commitment. And let's talk about commitment, Easton. I'm sure that it had to click into you in the teenage years that this is what you really wanted to do. You wanted to become a professional footballer from University of Alberta. Unbelievable time you had there. You lit it up, and you had a coach there that believed in you, that trusted you. And then now, looking ahead, and we'll talk about it, you have two coaches that trust, believe in you, and have given you a big responsibility in Jeff Paulus and Sean Fleming. These guys believed in you at the next level, and you've paid them back in dividends, and I'm sure you'll continue to pay them. Let's talk about University of Alberta first, Easton, and then now today with the two coaches, Jeff and Sean.
Yeah, I think coming out of high school, I didn't really have any options. I didn't know where to go or what was going to happen. When I got the opportunity to go to the University of Alberta, it was my best option, my only really good option, and I took it. And I had two coaches there, Len Vickery and Martin Anderson. And I think the thing for me throughout my whole career so far is that although a lot of people didn't believe in me and didn't want me, the coaches that did want me really believed in me and motivated me and allowed me to succeed. And that's what happened at the U of A. They believed in me. They worked on the things that I needed to improve, and they really allowed me to reach the next level.
I sat and watched your first game coming into CPL as a young man and coming in there, and I saw something early on. I said to myself, once this young man gets accustomed to the pro game, the level, the intensity, the full package of it all, I felt that you would settle in nicely and then watch out. The sky is your limit. And again, Coach Jeff Paulus and Sean Fleming and the whole crew there, they believed in you from the get-go. How important is it now to not only repay them, the owner, Tom Fath, who's been such an unbelievable owner in the city of Edmonton, to give them back because they gave you the keys and trusting you with the time and the responsibility?
Yeah, coming out of the U Sports draft, I went to Calgary and things didn't quite work out there. Fortunately enough, Jeff and Sean both believed in me and gave me an opportunity here in Edmonton without really knowing what could happen. Fortunately, things went really well for me last year, and I had quite a good season. And going forward, I can't thank them enough for how much they've done for me so far and for introducing me to the professional game.
A big man of his size, I watched his feet and I said to myself, you know, the guy for his size has real smooth, silky feet. Did you see that back when he was a teenager, or did he have to work on that?
Yeah, coming to me, I think Nick covered a lot of it. You know, it's different watching all those goals now where, you know, in the box, if there's a header in the air, he's definitely got his head on it and it's going in the net. But at youth soccer, it was within that 30 yards, you knew Easton always had a knack to be in place, know where to be, where the ball was going to come. And he had a deadly finish. You knew it was good to go, whether it was a pressure spot kick or just a tap in or a quick shift and a shot. He was there and he was getting the job done.
Ross?
For me, I think it was the dealing and handling of stressful and pressure situations. Penalty shot kicks up, who steps up to take it? Free kick, last minute of the game, who's going to take it? Who is going to score the big goal in the big time of a game? And if you look at each level that Easton has now succeeded in, he is the one who will do that. I would anticipate he will step on the corner kicks, free kicks, penalty shots for Edmonton FC, because that's his demeanor. He is not fazed by it, and that is the biggest thing that an athlete at the professional level must deal with, is the mental stress. And it doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't handle the mental part of the game, you will not play.
John and Nick, it was a pleasure having all four of you on tonight. Easton, we wish you nothing but success in your future in this country, in Canadian Premier League with FC Edmonton. I'm sure that we'll be hearing and seeing a lot of you. Gentlemen, you three, I thank you for giving your time to the community in Edmonton, for coaching youngsters like Easton, and for making memories of youngsters with Easton, with you three, and many others. Gentlemen, thank you so much. And again, really appreciate everyone making the time tonight.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.